parallelly we are able to practice this diagnostics related information. So from the console we are sending the data. Okay, so here we can send it. So if we send, we can see the response. So this is for your understanding on the trace, like what is the data and what is the byte. So what is the request and what is the positive response, you get it. Okay, so that is for your understanding. And we have those many options on the diagnostics. So this is part of a working only in the real-time organizations. Okay. So meanwhile, I will share you the concept of P2P timing. So what is it is? Okay, so like yesterday we discussed about the timing parameters. Okay, so what are the sub functions it have? The diagnostic section control, like programming section, extended section. So these are very important, as I told you. And 04 is the system safety diagnostic section. If you need to write, you can write down, and moreover, you can practice like how 1001 we are sending. Similarly, we are sending that 1002 and 1003, and they're expecting the same response. Getting right? Like, did you make any assignment? You have any doubt on this format? So this is a like if you send 1001, okay, instead of that 1002 also you can send 1003 also you can send. Okay, so if it is a valid request, you will get it at 5002 and the followed by the data. So instead, similarly, like you can give here as the 1003, 1004, anything, whatever the sub functions we know, like 1003 you can give, 1004 you can give, 1002. So here also it will repeat the same 1002 and 1003 and 1004. Okay, so and this will be the P2, these 2 bytes, and another 2 bytes will be the P2 star. Okay, so you are able to see, right, the response we are getting from the server side. Okay, so the response we are getting from the server. Okay, here this will be the client. So the client need to client is seeing the timing. Okay, client is watching the timing. Client watches the timing that's sent by the server. Okay, sir, because servers knows server is the one who what is the time it need to replay the data. Okay, so that data is timing is replayed like 00690068. Okay, client knows that. Okay, what is the time you responded? Because I got a response now, from that point only I knows that this data, this is a minimum time is 200 and this is like a the 2000. So this is the conversion. Okay, so now the client understand. Okay, the response time is like this. Okay, so same like whatever the sub function we discussed. And the another important point for your diagnostic section control, you can write down NRCs. These are invalids. Okay, NRCs you can write down. Diagnostic section control NRCs, supported NRCs, you can write down supported NRCs. You can write down this. Going forward, I will explain you like subfunction not supported, what it means. Okay, so those and all I will tell you in further classes. 12 subfunction not supported. 12 subfunction not supported. Okay, 12 subfunction not supported. Subfunction not supported. And 13 invalid format or incorrect message length. Incorrect message length or invalid format. 13. This is a X. Okay, 0x it is. Hex means hexa value. This is like hexa value. We usually write like this because system understanding byte. Next is condition not correct. 0x. It is a small x. Okay. So small x means hexa value. 22. Condition not correct. So these are the supported NRCs for diagnostic section control. If interviews, they will ask you what are the supported analysis for diagnostic section control. If you say like 1 or 2, that is sufficient. Okay, sub functions are supported or invalid or incorrect message length. So condition not correct. Like that, if you say it is fine. Okay. So now coming to write down P2 heading, you can write down P2 star, P2 and P2 star timer, P2 and P2 star timers. You can write down heading P2 star, P2 and P2 star timer are the default timeout periods. You can write down the P2 and P2 star timers are the default timeout periods in the diagnostic section control service of UDS. That are the default timeout periods. Okay. So in the diagnostic section control service means diagnostic section control service means that is a 0x10. Okay. In bracket, you can write down that of UDS. Okay. So what it is a P2 star server, what is a P2 and what is a P2 star? So the P2 is, you can write down P2 timer, P2 timer, P2 timer is set to maximum of 500 milliseconds. In real time interviews, no, if they ask you, you know about what is a P2 P2 timer timeout value is, you need to give the 500 milliseconds. Okay, so that we are using in the project. Some projects they will use for 200 also. Some projects they will use for 300. It depends. Okay, so but whatever the familiar and the standard will be, the 500 is the milliseconds. That is the maximum time. Okay, so write down P2 star, P2 timer is set to maximum of 500 milliseconds. Okay, so we know about the byte order, right? Like 50, 01, this next 00, C3, 0068. Okay, like so whatever, this will be the byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, byte 4, byte 5, byte 6. Okay, so whatever byte 3, byte 4, it talks about the value of 500 milliseconds. Okay, so the byte represented will be third byte. So means this will be the MSB and this will be the LSB. Okay, in the order of, if you take these 2 bytes, so this will be the most significant and this will be the LSB, least significant bit. Okay, so this will be the 500 milliseconds. Next is P2 star timer. You can write down P2 star timer. Okay, so P2 star timer is the enhanced timeout, means extended timeout set to maximum of 2000 milliseconds. This whatever underline, it is important. Okay, P2 star timer is a enhanced timeout set to maximum of 2000 milliseconds. So now byte 5 and byte 6 is there, no? So this will be coming as a part of 200 milliseconds. Okay, so in real time, this will be the timing parameters they will use in the projects. Okay, means that whatever the CANoe and ECU, no? So when the request is sent, the ECU will take some time to respond, no? So that time will be given as the 500 and 2000 milliseconds. Okay, so these times are crucial for managing the communication timing between the diagnostic tool, means diagnostic tool, and the vehicle ECUs during the diagnostic sections. Means when the tool is connected to the cars, so whenever the request is sent, the response time should be always should follow this time. Okay, means within 2 seconds or within 500 milliseconds of the time, you should get the response. Is it clear? This is what the P2 and P2 star timer. Okay. This is for server time. Okay. Is it clear, right? All
Yes,
you're able
sir.
to understand? You have any doubts on this?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can write down the same, like if you missed any points, like third byte and fourth byte or the P2 star, sorry, P star, P2, and P2 star is fifth byte and sixth byte will be the P2 star. Okay. In interviews, they will ask you. So that's the reason, like we need to stress on those points. Okay. So let's go into the other point. Okay. So similarly, we have the server client. Okay. So that is the S3 session, means whatever the client and server. So we have a default section and extended section, right? So for default section and extended section to enter into this layers, like you may consider the software architecture. Okay. So the software architecture, it have many up layers. Okay. So each layers, it will support some sessions, like consider this L1 and L2, L3 and L4. Okay, so these are the layers. So here for L2, L4 and L3 layers, it will support the extended section. Okay. So and whenever you this it will support the programming section, and L1 it will support only the default section. So here the values, if you take A1, A2, B1, comma B2, C1, C5, next C7, C8. Okay, those are values I given in the different sessions. Okay, so if I need to read this value of A1, A2, I need to go to L1 and read the value of A1 and A2. If I try to read the value of B1 and B2, okay, so I am trying to read the value of B1 and B2. Okay, from L2 I can read it. In case I'm not entering into the L2, I'm not entering into the L2, I'm entering from L1. You cannot get the response of this B1 and B2 values, because you specifically go to the programming section and you need to go to the L2, means when you are entering the programming section, then you are in a L2 and you can read the B1 and B2. And moreover, similar to the extended section also, you cannot read data from L1 or L2. Okay, so you should always go with the L3 and L4. Then you need to read the data of C7, C8. Okay, so for L4, it have the L4 data, and L3 you have a C1 and C5. So this data you can read it. Okay. So means whatever the data, it have specifically allocated in some sessions. So you need to go into the sessions and you need to read it. I'm able to audible, right, for you all? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So each session, no, whenever you are entering like one session to the another session, and from here to the other sessions, okay, it has some timeout. Okay, when you are moving from one section to another session, means whenever you power on the ECU, what is it will be in a default section, right? So default section subfunction is what it is, 0x01, right? So this is my subfunction. So whenever I will enter the into the default section, okay, so the data I can read it. Okay, so here there are some timeout parameters for the sessions. So S3 timeout means maximum time between the functional address. You know about functional address and physical address. What is a functional address and physical address? Can anyone tell me? What is functional address, physical address? Chakri, Bhavya.
So, functional addressing is used for one or more uses, where physical is used for one use only.
One to many. Okay. So this will be one to one. Good. So like whenever we are communicating, right, with one to one or one to many issues, so the timing should follow the same. Okay. The communication request or the response should be the same. Okay. So the maximum time between the functional addressing, the tester present is 3. Okay. So request to maintain the active diagnostic section. Okay. So means this tester present is the one, like as I told you, right? Like we have a layers of L1, L2, and L3. Okay. So L4 or L5. So like this. Each section, when you are jumping, you should have some time. Okay. So like if you say like I need to wait for 1 hour, okay, I need to wait for 2 hours. So it cannot wait the sessions when you are jumping to another. Whenever you try to jump from L2 to L1 to L3, it will stay for 5 seconds only. After again, it will come to back to the L4. So like that, it will be there. So to make you to stay in the same session, this tester present will active. Okay, so this tester present is a 3. Okay, so just we'll discuss for brief points here. Further, we can make it clear on what is tester present. Okay. So here we are using the tester present to make the section align. And moreover, the client, this is for the client side. Okay, allows applies to the physical addressing request across multiple servers. And next is the S3, so server side. So server side, whenever the section is switched from default to programming or any extended section, so you should stay in that section because of the tester present is active. Okay, so this is a parameter specific for the tester present service ID, but to understand how the sections are controlled, so you need to remember this tester present. So with the help of the tester present, we are able to stay in the session, stay in the sessions. Means whatever the sessions we have, how many sessions we have a default section, we have a programming section. Okay, so we have an extended section, we have the safety standard. Okay, so these are what are the sub functions we say, those are the sections we have. So to stay in those sections, so this tester present makes you active. Okay, so just for your information, we are discussing this. And whatever the timing parameters, so we have in the diagnostic section control apart from this. So P2 star, like we had discussed about the clients server side, right? Like whatever the, like we have a CANoe and we have the request, we are sending it, that is fine. But similarly, the whatever the request you are making, no, you should also send, you should follow some time, like within 1 second or 2 seconds, or you should communicate. If not, you cannot respond the same time. Okay. So important points, whatever we discuss, the server is the very important, and the client is just for your understanding. Okay. So we have the same parameters for the client also. So P2 can client is the timeout period of the client want successfully transmitting whatever the transmitting time we use for the client. And similarly, we have the P2 scan client also. So it is how much time you need to wait for responding. Okay. So this will be a part of the P2 can client. And next is we discussed about the P2 CAN server. These are the 2 points of the definitions which we have. Okay, so you can go through this slide. Okay, so once this video is shared with you, it will be the same points. And next is the CAN physical, means towards the CAN physical hardware, how it will be transmitting. and what is the like functional addressing, how it will be transferring. So these are the some 2 points, okay, to understand. You can make it like physical addressing, way like one to one, how it is communicating. If it is a the one to many, how data will be transferring. So this will be some other 2 points. It will be the P3, and this will be the P2 scan server and P2 server and P2 can. Okay, so this is kind of the timing parameters that crucially followed in the diagnostics. Okay, you can go through these slides. So once I'll share with you. Okay, it is same points whatever we did discuss. Next, you can write down the another service ID, ECU reset. ECU reset. So why we need to use the ECU reset? So ECU means what it is here. It is a device or controller or node. When we call a node, when we call a device, when we call as a controller is specifically for controlling of the information, controlling the inputs and outputs. Okay, device is specific functionality we called as a device, means the hardware thing. So both points are same, like a device if you say, the controller if you say, both are same. Node, what when we say node, when it is connected within the network, okay, that time we called as a node. So within the network, when it is connected, we specify that it is a node. Okay, so now what is my point? So ECU reset. What is a reset? It is reset is just power on, power on, off, on. We call as a reset. So whenever you do power off reset of your phone, what will happen? So it will restart, means it will, the application will go off. Okay, so when it is in on state, it will go off again, it will go on. So this is what the reset, right? So the service ID for this is 0x11. Okay, so is it clear? So ECU reset, why we need to do, like whatever the application or the software or hardware, you should perform the reset. Okay, so efficiently to reconfiguring. Okay, so there are some points like why ECU reset and what is the applications. You can write down. So it is used to request a ECU reset by external device. Used to request a ECU reset by external device. Means whatever the tester tool or the client tool where the person will be connecting and doing the reset. Used to request a ECU reset by external device. Okay. So whatever, when you do the reset, what will happen? It will do the re-establishment, the connection re-establishment. Write down after the reset, the client re-establish the connection with the server. So the client and server will reconnect again after the reset. So external device is something you are doing from the hardware or the tool or the CANoe tool. So used to request a ECU reset by an external tool. So external tool is something hardware specifically we are doing the reset, or from the tool we are using, or from the hardware. Here talks about the engineer person who will take the tool and uh, communicate with the ECU and do it. And tool is specifically the CANoe when we are using for the development and testing of the specific ECUs or any vehicle. So that we call as a tool. Okay, so and when we do the request, what will happen after the reset? The client will re-establish the connection with the server. So now, after doing the re-establishment, what will be happening? It will be the activated. So activate of the default section means we know after power on, the ECU will be stay in a default section, that is 0x01. Okay, activation of default diagnostic section. You can write down. Upon successful reset, the server activates means my ECU. Okay, so the client is there. So and the server is ECU. Okay, it will stay in default section. We know that. Okay, it will be in a default section whenever power on. Okay, so is it clear, right? So next is ECU software reset. ECU software reset. So following pre-connection verification, the ECU software reset were happening because whenever it is connected in the specific single ECU or multiple ECUs in the vehicle, if you do need to do restart, so if you send this command, it will be fine. It will be restarted. We are able to use the specific ECUs or all the ECUs in the vehicles can be restarted. Okay, so write down ECU reset service. ECU reset service used to restart specific ECU or all the ECUs in the vehicle. So this is very important point. This is for your understanding those points. In interviews, you need to say what is a ECU reset. The ECU reset service is used to restart the specific ECUs or all the ECUs in the vehicle. So this will give you clear understanding of what it will be happening exactly. Okay. So what are the other options we have? So the types of reset. So we have the hard reset, okay, and the key on, off, on, and soft, enable and disable, and the rapid power down, power down. So these are the reset types. So these reset types, it's formed as a sub functions in our diagnostics. Okay. Is it clear, right? So what is the format we'll follow? Okay, so okay, you can write down reset type may include hard, key on, off, on, soft, enable, disable, rapid, power down. Okay, so these are a sub functions. Okay, these are a reset types. What are the reset types? In the ECU reset in interviews they will ask you, you can give this information. And next is what is the format will follow. As we know, the ECU reset will follow the always with the service ID of 11. Okay, so and it have a sub function. So UDS ECU reset it have a sub function. So the sub functions it may have a 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. These are the sub functions it have. Okay, so what is 01? What is 02? We're going to learn further. Okay, so because this is a family, right? ECU default section, a diagnostic section control for 010, we know that 01 it have a default section, and 02 is a programming section, and 03 is a extended section. Similarly, these are a sessions, okay? But for restart, okay, whatever you are doing the reset, it also have the sub function, but it have a different names, okay? So the names is differ here. Okay, we're going to understand. So this is the request format. Whatever the format we are sending, so it have the 1 byte here and a 2 byte. This is the next byte. So totally the request should be in a 2 bytes. Okay, so 1 byte contains the service ID, another byte contains a sub function. You can write down UDS request format. The request format will be service ID, SID plus sub function. You can write down like this in the box. Okay, so this is a valid request. Valid request format. Okay, so and the response will be the service ID, it followed by plus 40. Okay, and next we have a sub function in it, and next we have the data. So it carries some data also. Okay, so this is the ECU reset format. What is the data? So data is specifically any the timing related or any internal information that will be carried. So that we call as a data here. Okay, so this is the for request and response format for the ECU reset. So, okay, so next we'll go into the understanding of how we are sending the request and how we are getting the response from the 11. So as we know, the tester tool and the ECU. So from the tester tool, the CANoe, we are connecting to the ECU and we are sending the request of 1101. So 11 is the service ID which we have, and 01 is the subfunction. Okay. So 01, 02, 03, 04. So I will tell you the 01. You need to write down the 02 and 03 and 04. Okay. So let's complete. This will be the assignment for you. So request will be 1101. Okay. So the request is valid request. Now we received it. Okay, so then my response will be like 5101, means whatever I got it. So the service ID of 11. So 11 plus 40, what will be the output? 51, right?
51.
Yeah. So my response is 51, and this will be the subfunction. So I'm getting like a 01 is the response. So this is the response I got it for valid request. Okay. Is it clear? Okay, so let's I will call you individually, so you can answer me now. If I send like 1102, okay, so what is the response here, Gautam?
5102.
5102. Okay. If I send a request of 1103, what is the response here, Chakri?
103.
5103. Okay, so if I send a response of 1104, okay, so what is the response here, Pavya? Usha?
51004.
5104. Okay. So this is like very simple, right? It is easily understandable. Like whatever the service ID you are sending, it will be the adding of plus 40 and the subfunctions remains same if you look into here. So it's a very easy, but there are some conditions where you will get the response of data also, because the shutting down, it will take like how much time it is taking, means you need to shut down after 5 seconds, after 6 seconds it got shut down. So that also you will get it here. Okay. So whatever the valid and real-time working, so we can focus those sub-functions as of now. Okay. And this is a valid request. So invalid request. So I am sending the invalid request of. So as I told you, it will support only 2 bytes. Now I am adding additional byte here. So this will be the invalid, right? So this invalid means I will get a response of 7F and service ID and the NRC. So this is a format 7F and the service ID and the NRC code. Okay. So this is the negative response. We'll get it. Is it clear? Any doubts on this? Negative response? Why we got?
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
so reset will happen after responding, or after reset only the response will come?
No, yeah. So reset, whenever we send the request, no. So before shutting down the ECU reset, no, we'll get a response saying that, okay, whatever your request is valid, I'm going to shutting down. Like that, it will accept and ECU will start resetting it. It is a good question. So in interviews, they will ask you like this type of questions. Very good.
After giving response only, it will reset.
Yes, yes. Once after sending the response positively, then it will say the ECU will do resetting it. Means it will do the hard reset also. It will do the soft reset also. There are types I discussed, right, like earlier. So those kind of reset will be performed after when we send the request.
Okay.
Okay, good. Good question. So what are the subfunctions we have in the service ID of for ECU reset is, so the first phase is the hard reset. You can write down hard reset. The number is 01. The name of the hard reset is, sorry, the number of 01 is the hard reset. Okay, so hard reset. Hard reset means what will happen is whenever you are sending the command, right, from the CANoe. Okay, so from the CANoe, you have a tool and you are sending it from the tool to the request to the ECU. So when you do this, right, so this is a CAN communication. That is fine. Okay, that is communication is CAN. But exactly in the ECU also we have a power supply. Okay, so the power supply is there internally in the ECU. Don't get confused. This is the internal ECU. Okay, externally we are connecting the power supply here, like a battery. Imagine like it is a battery. Okay, so hard reset means it removes the battery from the ECU and connecting the ECU again with the battery. Means it have internally the battery, so it will stop connecting it. Okay, it will disconnect and it will connect internally. Okay, so that is a hard reset. Means just remember it is reconnecting with the battery, removing connecting and reconnecting with the battery. Okay, so you can write down hard reset means, in interviews they will ask you hard reset means you can means removing the battery, power supply. Hard reset means removing the battery. Removing the battery means power supply here. Power supply from the ECU and connecting the, here it is removing, okay, and connecting the ECU again with the battery. Connecting the ECU again with the battery. This is a very simple definition. You need to give it in interview. Is it clear, right? So just hard reset means hardly it is removing and connecting from the battery. That point you should remember. Okay, hard reset means removing the battery from the ECU and reconnecting the ECU with again with the battery. So this is a very important sentence you should remember. That is a hard reset. Next is key on. So key on, off, on, reset. When we'll do key on, whenever it is from off, like initially it will be in an off state. Okay, we are doing the on. So you need to do off again. Okay, so what you will do from on state, you are doing off, right? So when you need to do restart, so what you will do, it will be on, from again you will make it off, again you will do on. So that is a part of a reset it is. So here we have a key on, write down key on, off, on, reset. The subfunction is 02. The number is 02. Key on, off, on. The order you should remember. Okay, so initially it will be in a off state. Okay, don't say that. Okay, so and say that on, again you will do off, again on. So this we called as a reset. Whenever your phone is now on state, so you need to do the reset, right? So how we will do? So when you click on the power, it will off, again it will on. So that is a part of the on, off, on. Okay, so write down 03. So what it will do exactly? So the key off, on, reset is simply the ignition off, on process of a vehicle. In real time, it will be the ignition. Like we have a bike, right? So bike key, we are making off and on again. So it is a kind of this. So the key off, on, reset is simply the ignition off, on process of a vehicle. It is a normally just a sleep wake up mode of the ECU. It is a normally normal sleep wake up mode of the ECU. So what exactly it will happen here when we do, right, like immediately when you are doing your bike, immediately on off like that. So off on, so immediately it won't disconnect, right? So already it will be in the on state, immediately it will activate it. So ECU will not get the power down immediately. Okay, next is a soft reset. Write down, this is a very important. So these two are very important, I like to say. You need to remember this. In real time, we usually work on those sub functions, hard reset and soft reset. Okay, what is soft reset? Soft reset, you can write down 0x03. So this is the ECU, we are doing the restart, right? Like application, you are closing the application and opening it, right? What will happen? Or like you open the Chrome, okay, in your system. So sometimes it got hanged and it's not able to open properly. What you are doing? So you will close the application and again you will reopen it, right? So it is only the restart of the application. Okay. So here the ECU is ghost ECU, right on. So soft reset immediately restarts the immediately restarts the application, immediately restart the application and save the data in non-volatile memory. Non-volatile memory is like EEPROM memory that may last in lost steps, that might list in startup sequence. Okay, this point we will discuss it further. Okay, so write down soft reset is it restarts the application. That's enough. Immediately restart the application. This is very simple sentence you can give in interview. Okay. So hard reset is it is disconnecting and reconnecting from the battery, and this is only the restart of the application software. You can also say like application software or any. Yeah. So is it clear, right? You were able to answer, right? Next is other subfunction, enable rapid power shutdown. Rapid means immediately. Okay, enabling the shutdown. Okay, so it is enable rapid power shutdown is the equivalent to the power the ECU without ignition supply. Only battery supply will be there. Okay, here we don't have the ignition key. Directly we are connecting to the battery, so that we are doing for these services. As of now, it's not required. And next we have a disable rapid power shutdown. So here also, sorry, yeah, here also we are disabling the previously enabled one, and we are making this shutdown again. So these are specific things. As of now, it's not much required. Okay, the two important is the hard reset and soft reset. You need to remember these numbers. Additionally, you can say that you work and you know only these two sub functions. What are the other types it have? If there's someone stresses you, so at least you need to give one more key on, off, on, reset. Okay, so these are 5 sub functions. Okay, at least you can try to remember these two sub functions. Okay, is it clear, right? So where you are able to answer, right, in the interviews?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. So next, what are the supported NRCs for ECU reset? You write down 12, subfunction not supported. Subfunction not supported. And 13, invalid format and incorrect message length. It will be the same, like I said, this NRCs will give you the what kind of request it is a valid or invalid length, but only these are the very important supported NRCs you should remember. Okay, in interviews, sometimes they may ask you, so at least if you give 2 NRCs, that may good. Okay, so you instead of nothing to say, so at least if you say some 1 or 2, 3, it will be good. Next is 22, condition not correct. And 33, security access denied. So these are the 4 sub functions.